Hey everybody, welcome back to Furniture Flipping Teacher. I'm Lauren, and we decided that since our Airbnb area is in full construction with our contractors, that we would squeeze in a quick furniture flip for you guys. Man, has it been a while since we've been over here to our storage unit. We've actually got this unit and then that unit right next door. That one's more full than this one, but I just wanted to take a look at the pieces we've got and pick one out to do this week. So I don't even remember what we have in here. It's like Christmas. I don't know, I'm not really feeling like a dresser or a set because again, this one, I want it to be like quick-ish, not take a whole entire week, but maybe just a couple more, like a day or two. This one, you remember getting this one? That antique hutch that we got for, I think like 150 bucks. We found it on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe we should pull that one out and see. I was planning on doing milk paint, so maybe that would be a good one to do. I think this is the piece. What do you guys think of this piece? Yeah?
I think this is it.
Let's get it home. It feels great to be back out here in the shop, and I am so ready for a furniture flip. This piece is going to be amazing when it is all finished. The first step, as always, is to go ahead and remove the hardware and give it a nice clean because it is very, very dirty. At this point, I need 2 sets of tools because all of my other ones are up in the Airbnb. So I had to scrounge around for a screwdriver real quick. So I don't think I'm gonna be using this piece of hardware because these 2 here on the bottom are missing. So I'm gonna get all new hardware for the whole entire piece. As for cleaning, I'm gonna be just using my bucket of Dawn dish soap. It's a very gentle cleaner, but yet it still has that degreaser in it. So this is a great option for wood that's in pretty nice shape. I told you guys this one was dirty. Oh my goodness. This might need a couple of washes. Probably the dirtiest piece I've ever had. I had to bring out this scrub brush because not even just the rag is really cutting it. Gotta get some elbow grease in this cleaning job here. Cleaning this was a huge chore, but it is clean and I'm so sorry. I forgot to show you the dirty water shot, but I ended up switching out my water like 3 times, so it's gone. But I did go ahead and rinse it one last time and I still had a bit of dirtiness coming through. But we are ready to go ahead and sand. So while this is drying, I want to show you guys a new product. So you guys know how much I love my Surf Prep sander, and usually I attach it to a Festool vacuum dust extractor, but I am pleased to tell you that Surf Prep has released their own vacuum dust extractor. This is the Surf Prep Pro V vacuum, and it is just completely decked out and ready for some furniture flips, and I am ready too. It has some awesome features that my Festool didn't have. I just got so excited I called it by the wrong name. It's not the Pro V8, it's the POV8, which is personal on-site vacuum, and it's the 8-gallon. So it's got an 8-gallon bag in there. It is very safe because it has the HEPA dust extractor part of it. And then something that I'm so excited about is that my Surf Prep sander can plug immediately into the actual vacuum. And then it has an automatic feature where if I turn it on to automatic, it's gonna turn my Surf Prep on. And when I go ahead and click down and this begins to work, the vacuum will also begin to work. So it's not constantly on if I'm not using my Surf Prep. Let me show you. So you probably notice it does have that 7 or 8 second lag, but that is because it is cleaning itself once I turn my sander off. So that is another feature that I'm so excited about, is that it cleans itself, self-cleaning every 30 seconds. That is amazing. You can also turn it to manual, which again, we'll have it on for the entire time. I don't know about you, but I'm so excited to use this thing, so let's get to sanding. This machine here is an absolute game changer, and it really completes the whole Surf Prep sanding system. So if you're interested in either the Surf Prep sander itself or the actual POV8 vacuum dust extractor, I'll link everything below in the description. You guys know I have a code FFT10 that works on the Surf Prep sanding system, but right now, since this product is so new, it's not gonna work for you. But again, all of that information is down below in the description. I know you guys will enjoy it. I'm gonna go ahead and get to sanding. This was another great time to have my Surf Prep sander because of these foam abrasive pads, where it really is able to mold to the surface that I'm sanding. So I might have had some flat surfaces here, but up here, all of this is very curvy, and I didn't want to take any of that away and flatten it out with a regular sander. So this comes in handy so much in pieces like these. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe all of the remaining dust off of the piece. You may be wondering why I didn't sand the base, and that's because I'm actually gonna be leaving it this natural wood that it already is. So later on, I'll be kind of restoring that, but I'm gonna go ahead and tape it off so that when I begin to paint, I don't get any on the spaces that I wanna keep that wood tone. Now that I've got all that dust wiped back, we are finally ready to get some color on this piece. And I am gonna be using a new to me product, and it's actually fairly new to the market as well, at least from this brand. One of my favorite paint brands is Lilly Moon Paint, and they have a milk paint. It's called Moon Dust, which I think all of their branding is just super cool and definitely stays on brand of Lilly Moon. but this is the color Galaxy, and it is a beautiful green color. I am so excited because I've never ever used milk paint before, but it's definitely been on my furniture bucket list for some time now. So I am ready to try it out, and I thought what better piece to do than this piece because I still want to keep that sort of antique feel. Well, I am going to be mixing 1 part of the actual milk paint, which comes in a dust form or powder form, and then I'm gonna be mixing the same amount of warm water and then half of that amount in their Gravity, which is a bonding agent. So although I sanded, I didn't get the entire finish off, and so the Gravity is really going to help it bond to the surface. Milk paint can be pretty unpredictable as far as, you know, if it chips off in some places, which I'm gonna be okay with, but the Gravity bonding agent will really help it attach and adhere to the surface a little bit more, so it's a little bit less unpredictable. So I'm gonna start out with a 1/2 cup of the powder. I think I'm gonna start by mixing a 1/4 cup and see what happens. So we've got a 1/4 cup of our powder there. Then we'll do a 1/4 cup of water. They've also got these little mini whisks on their website, lillymoonpaint.com, and I'll link everything down below in the description. And if you're interested in any of these products, you can use my code FFT10 for 10% off of your entire order. So it's my understanding that I mix them together for a little while, and then I need to let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. Let it kind of react, make itself into the paint it's supposed to be, and then I can start to paint. And as far as the Gravity goes, this is only needed on your first coat of paint. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in 1/8 of a cup of this because it's actually 1 part Gravity to 2 parts paint. So I'm gonna do half of what I poured in here. Painting furniture usually doesn't make me nervous, but I have been doing so much research on this, but then I just decided, you know what? I can't mess it up. So if it doesn't look right or if I do something wrong, and I can always start over. So just a reminder to just do it if you've got those feelings of nervousness or unsureness. Just jump in, try it. If all else fails, you can start over and try again. All right, so this is looking like a pretty good consistency to me from what I've seen other painters have. So I am gonna go ahead and leave this to sit for about 10 minutes. And then we'll come back and we'll mix it a little more, and then we'll get to put it on the furniture. All right, let's check it out. Looking milky. All righty. So the brush that I'm gonna be using is actually the Zebra brush. It's their top coat brush, but you can also use it for painting. So I wanted to use a Palm Pro just so that I have it right in my hand and I have as much control as possible. All right, let's do it. First coat is on, and so we're gonna let that dry, see what it looks like, and we'll come back for another coat. Well, the first coat is dry, and after drying, you know, it still looks a little scary. I think that initial first coat sometimes looks worse before it looks better, so it can be a little bit intimidating, but I've heard just keep going and go ahead and apply that second coat and things will start to look like they are supposed to look. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply coat number 2. So I kind of did like coat 2.5-ish because the milk paint, it dries really quickly, and as soon as it's dry, you can basically recoat it. So there were just a few spots where I could still kind of see the wood popping through a little bit. It's not that I don't want that at all, because I would be totally okay with that here and there, but there was just a bit too much popping through. So I went ahead and covered that up, and then I'm also going around and just making sure that I don't see any dripping paint, because this is so liquidy and it is very important that you catch the drips before they dry, just like any paint, but this one is just a little bit more easy to get those drips in the first place. So we're gonna let coat number 2 dry. I might come back with a few touch-ups, but then we'll move on to the bottom. As I mentioned before, I decided that I wanted to keep the wood tone down here on the legs. So I did tape it off. Now that we're done painting, I can go ahead and take that tape off, since I'm not worried about getting that tape anymore, or that paint on here anymore. And then I'm gonna show you guys a product that I've used before. It's called Restore a Finish by Howard's. And this is in the color walnut, because the walnut is the one that matches closely to my wood color. They've got about 6 or 7 different tones, and this is just going to basically rejuvenate, add a little bit more color to the base, and anywhere where it's a little bit more worn out, it's gonna give it its color back. But the great thing is I don't have to strip all this down by sanding and then restain it to keep this. This is just going to restore the finish that's already there. So all you need is a rag or steel wool or something like that, and then make sure that you're wearing gloves, because it will stain your hands a little bit. And then you just pour out a little bit onto your rag and begin to buff it on. All right, so as you can see, that is so much more shiny and brought back to life. I'm gonna let that stay on there. It suggests about 30 minutes, and then I'll go back and do some buffing and also give it a top coat. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and top coat the milk painted parts. So the top coat is really where the magic happens. The milk paint is very chalky looking right now, and I am gonna be using the Furniture Balm as the top coat, which is really going to bring it to life. So this one is actually sweet orange. So one thing I love about these Furniture Balms is they have an amazing scent. This is actually from Lilly Moon Paint, so it partners really well with their milk paint. So I'm gonna let the milk paint soak that up for a little while, and then we'll come back and buff that out as well. It's time to buff it out. So I've got my lint-free cloth, and then all I'm gonna be doing is taking it and doing some circular motions, just rubbing it in a bit more, but also taking back the excess because we don't want it to be shiny still, and we don't want it to be wet to the touch. So another option to buff is a microfiber cloth. And so I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to that because even though this is supposed to be a lint-free cloth, sometimes it does leave a little bit of lint. The last step is to reassemble and put the hardware back on, or new hardware. So because the old hardware was missing and also some of it was broken, I was going to use these knobs that I have in stock on hand, but after putting them up against it and then after hearing that Neiman doesn't like the way that they pop so much, since this is more of a subdued color, you know, more of an earthy tone, I'm thinking more of an oil rubbed bronze or something darker that kind of blends in a little bit more. So tomorrow I'm gonna head to Hobby Lobby. We'll see you guys tomorrow to finish this piece off. All right, I'm here at Hobby Lobby. Unfortunately, it's not 50% off day, but they've got so many knobs. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can find some antique looking ones that will maybe just match the vibe of the whole piece. All right, I think I got the ones I'm gonna get. I got two different ones. These two larger ones are gonna go down on the drawer. And then the smaller version, they're very, very similar, is gonna go up on the door because it's a much smaller area. All right, now that we got those, let's go ahead and go home and finish this piece up. All right, I'll give it to Neiman. This was a great idea to wait a day and go to Hobby Lobby and find some knobs that actually complemented the piece a lot better than those more bright brass knobs that I had on hand. Sometimes you just gotta be flexible, and if your first plan doesn't work out, then tweak it a little bit and move and go with the flow. And of course, don't settle for just things that you've got. If it's gonna take an extra day or even an extra hour, go that extra mile to make sure that your piece looks great, because that is the end goal after all. So we still don't have a staging wall just yet built in our garage, and we don't really have anywhere great in our house, but I wanted to show you guys a way that you can still stage your furniture to make it look nice, even if you may not have a place indoors. Chances are you might have a place in your yard that is suitable to put furniture against. For instance, we have this area that doesn't look too bad. I think it'll kind of be a fun rustic look with just this older looking siding. It's a wood background and then a lot of greenery. Nothing's saying that we can't stage furniture outside. Sometimes you just gotta look for the beauty in your surroundings. Another great location might be in front of all the greenery. Now, it's not gonna be a great location for this piece because my piece is green and it would totally just blend right in. That's why I think this white background will really make that piece pop against it. So Neiman and I are gonna go ahead and bring that piece right out here and get some photos taken. Just scavenging our yard for some greenery to put into this little wicker basket, but it's also kind of like a planter. I actually found it at a thrift store for about $5. So this is the first time I've been able to use it. I think it works out perfectly for this flip. All right, I think we are ready for some photos, and then we'll talk about numbers. So as far as numbers go on this piece, I probably overpaid for it in my usual furniture flips that I do, because sometimes you just gotta cross a piece off of your bucket list, and I have been eyeing hutches like this, and we came across a pretty good deal for the shape that this was in. So I spent $150 on this piece. Then the materials that I used included the milk paint, and that is just around $17 on LillyMoonPaint.com. And then you gotta factor in the Restore finish. I'm pretty sure the bottle is around $12 to $15. And of course, I didn't use close to the whole entire amount. I've actually used that same bottle of Restore finish on several different projects, so that will get you a long way. So we're in around, oh, don't forget about the hardware, because I had to go get that at Hobby Lobby. So that was around $15 as well, because I didn't quite hit the half off day, but next time. So for the hardware and the Restore finish, that's $30, plus the milk paint will be around $47. Let's just call it $50 all in at the materials. So add that together, $50 plus $150, $200 all in. So I am gonna try and sell this for $500 to $600. It really just depends. I'll probably list high, and then from there we'll just adjust pricing as it goes. But I'm a little nervous going in so high because I haven't posted on Facebook Marketplace in so long since we've been caught up in the Airbnb, but I'm excited to list this one. So probably again around that $500 to $600 range, and then we'll go from there. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated over on Instagram, since we weren't able to sell it before we released this video. Now, for the good part, thank you guys so much for sticking around until the end, and for that, you get a surprise. I was actually in talks with Yari, who is the owner and creator behind Lilly Moon Paint. Her Instagram personally is Lilly Moon Vintage, so definitely give her a follow, but their paint is just amazing. And she has offered to supply one $100 gift card to Lilly Moon Paint, and all you have to do to enter is let me know down below in the comments if you have ever used milk paint before. This was my first time using milk paint, and I really enjoyed it. It's just a different way of painting things. It was a little bit scary with that first coat just because it was so see-through, but after that second and almost third coat, things started to look up. And again, you can go for that chippy look if you want. You just don't put the gravity bonding gel in, and then you can kind of distress if you want. I love the way that this turned out. Again, this color was Galaxy from Lilly Moon Paint. Get entered into that giveaway, subscribe, and let me know if you have used milk paint before. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the flip side.